All right, so today we're going to unpack the story of eBay. It's about this simple, almost invisible system they built to solve one of the internet's biggest, most fundamental problems. How do you get people to trust a total stranger? And let me tell you, their solution didn't just build a company, it basically laid the groundwork for how we all interact online today. I mean, really think about it for a second. You find something you want online, but the seller is some person you've never met, maybe thousands of miles away. You're supposed to send them your money and then just hope for the best? How do you actually know they're for real? This was the core question eBay had to solve, and not just for one person, but for millions of transactions every single day. And that leads us right into the first huge wall they hit, the scaling problem. See, when you're a small community, it's pretty easy to keep things in check. But when you suddenly explode in size, well, all the old rules go right out the window. As eBay got more and more popular, so did the chances for people to get ripped off. Every single bad deal was like a leak in the system, and it wasn't just draining money, it was draining the one thing that mattered even more, user trust. The whole platform was just growing way too fast for anyone to police it in the old-fashioned way. You know, here's a basic truth about how systems work. In a small group, rules are fine. Everybody knows everybody, there's social pressure, you can see what's going on. But the second that small group turns into a massive global marketplace, those top-down rules just completely fall apart. There are way too many people, too many deals happening for any one company to possibly manage. I mean, just imagine the scale of the challenge here. We're talking millions of users scattered all over the globe, buying and selling stuff 24/7. It was literally impossible for eBay to be the referee for every single transaction. They just couldn't see everything and they couldn't be everywhere at once. It just wasn't going to happen. So what's the typical corporate solution? Hire more lawyers, write more policies, add more rules. But for eBay, that was a total dead end. All it did was create headaches, make the platform clunky and hard to use, and it actually slowed down the incredible growth they were seeing. And you know the worst part? It didn't even stop the bad guys. The leaks were still there. Okay, so the old way was a complete failure. They needed a breakthrough, a totally different way to look at the problem. And that's exactly when they had this huge aha moment, an insight that would honestly change everything. They realized the answer wasn't punishment, it was reputation. Think about it. You can ban a bad seller, right? But what do? They just go create a new account. The punishment is temporary. It's easy to get around. But a bad reputation, oh, that sticks to you. That's a permanent record that follows you around wherever you go on the platform. And this right here, this is the core of their entire breakthrough. People don't change their behavior because they're afraid of some rule book they've never read. They change their behavior when they know their actions, both the good and the bad, are going to be remembered by everyone. In a huge system like this, memory is so much more powerful than force. But look, a great idea is pretty useless if you don't have a way to put it into action. And this is where eBay built something just truly elegant. It was a self-powering machine they called the trust loop. And it's so beautifully simple. Just 4 steps. Okay, step 1, a transaction happens. Someone buys something. Step 2, after the deal is done, both the buyer and seller are asked to leave feedback. Step 3, that feedback immediately updates their public reputation score for everyone to see. And step 4, and this is the absolute masterstroke, that new reputation changes their future on the site. A good score means more people trust you, more business. A bad one, it's like a warning sign to everyone else. The genius of this whole thing is how simple it is. eBay didn't need to hire a giant army of moderators to watch over every single deal. Nope, they just built a system of collective memory, and the community started policing itself. So why was this little loop so darn effective at fixing those leaks we were talking about? Let's actually break down the mechanics of why it worked so incredibly well. It works because it makes doing the right thing the easiest and most profitable thing to do. All of a sudden, being a bad seller becomes incredibly expensive. One negative review could scare away tons of future customers. But good behavior? That compounds. Every positive review builds on the last one, making you more trustworthy and bringing you more business. The system just naturally regulates itself. And this really takes the whole idea to another level. See, eBay didn't just add a little feedback feature. They built trust directly into the foundation, the infrastructure of their platform. It wasn't some policy you had to read in the fine print. It was as essential as the search bar or the payment button. It's what made the whole marketplace work. And, the impact of this idea went so far beyond just one auction website. This whole concept of building trust as a kind of infrastructure, well, it became the blueprint for the entire modern internet. I mean, we see its DNA absolutely everywhere today, right? That 5-star rating for your Uber driver, the reviews for an Airbnb you're thinking of renting, seller feedback on Amazon, even the upvotes and downvotes on a community forum like Reddit. All of these systems are built on that exact same idea, a reputation system that's enforced by the community itself. And that is the universal takeaway from the eBay story. For any system, online, offline, doesn't matter, that gets too big for top-down rules to work, the solution that wins almost every single time is one built on a shared, persistent memory. So that leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about for the future. As we move into a world with AI agents making deals for us and decentralized groups working without any single leader, our old models of control are going to break faster than ever. What new kinds of trust infrastructure are we going to have to invent? The lesson from eBay is crystal clear. The answer isn't going to be in another rulebook. It's going to be in building a better memory.